Jericho Sims wants to be more involved in the offense. He's capable, but according to reports, the main reason he's not is because when he enters the game, he's focused on his role. We're also going to speak about Tom Thibodeau and the recent comments that he made to the media, basically confirming that in practice, he's working on a double big lineup. That means that Towns will play the power forward position at some point for the Knicks during this season. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Sims is playing his role well, and Tom Thibodeau hints that a lineup change is coming. One thing that's surprising me the most this season is the play of Jericho Sims. When we started this season, honestly, if you asked me, would Sims have an impact for this team in any capacity, I would have bet a lot of money and say no to that. Just because I couldn't see Tom Thibodeau utilizing him, especially the way he looked last year. He looked lost when he was out there. But this year, coming into this year a little bit more healthy, not any nagging injuries, it seems like that's all it took for him to get back into rhythm. And now he's definitely somebody that we count on defensively. When he enters the game, he gets us offensive rebounds. He gets us defensive rebounds. He blocks shots. And even if he's not blocking shots, he puts that fear in opposing players that makes them alter their shots. And that's a lot of what Mitchell Robinson used to do. We need that on the floor. Him doing that is very impactful. However, on the other side of the floor, offensively, he's not that impactful. A lot of times, only thing you can count on him for is a very good close to the rim dunk. And that's if he's wide open. Oftentimes, he's passing the ball to somebody else and losing that possession for the Knicks. I don't really like what he does on offense. But according to him, he is capable of doing more, but he chooses not to because when he's in the game, he has one main role and he focuses on that. Let's break down the latest reports that we have here about Jericho Sims from NBA insider Steph Bondy. Shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information. According to him, Jericho Sims boasts the team's top individual defensive rating, a testament to his ability to guard on the perimeter and at least partially because he never shares the court with Karl-Anthony Towns. Offensively, however, Sims is limited exclusively to screening and dunking. The 26-year-old said recently, though, that he's capable of more, but he understands that's not his role. According to Sims, he states exactly, growing up, I've done different things. I'm a pro basketball player, and I think that's what people tend to forget. Guys can do certain things that maybe they aren't exposed to as much throughout the game because that's not their role at the time. So that's all it is. Obviously, our offense is already really good. So me coming in, my mentality is just to work as hard as I can and check off all the boxes and knock down my assignments and whatnot, whether that's defensively or getting guys open. I like to set hard screens for Jalen Brunson when he's in the game. According to Bondy, Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims are both free agents after this season. Shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information, and a lot of credit to Jericho Sims. He didn't have to talk about this. He didn't have to speak out about his role, but he did. And I think he did that to clarify it for everybody around the league and all the fans out there who are speaking about him and his role on offense, especially me. I have been criticizing him on that side of the ball all season long. And honestly, I'm not really going to stop here. While I understand what he's saying, I understand that's not his role. When he comes into the game, he is focused on defense, setting screens, and getting rebounds. And if that's the case, he is checking off all the boxes. I understand that. But why can't you give me more offensively while doing all of that? I understand it's not your role. I understand other players around you are asked to do that, not you. But you also can't give up a play when you're open down low. A lot of times, he's open. All he has to do is dribble a little bit and then dunk the ball or shoot the ball or push the ball open with a floater. He doesn't do any of that. Even though he's working on that in practice, he doesn't do that during the game. And I think it's fair to criticize him for that because we lose that possession on offense. And oftentimes we're scrambling. We're late in the shot clock because of it. He needs to understand when he's given the ball and he's open, he has to take the shot. Even if he misses it, if he's aggressive and takes the shot, it's going to help the Knicks later on in the game because now a lot of defenders around you think that you're a threat on offense, think that you're going to shoot the ball. Because of that, more defenders are going to go towards you. They're going to collapse on you. And now we have more space on the floor to operate. Now our drivers in Jalen Brunson, in Josh Hart, and Karl-Anthony Towns all have more room to operate. They can do a lot more inside the paint, or if they want to, they can likely pass it to an open shooter in the wing because when defenders collapse inside the paint, what happens? Our perimeter is all open. That means our shooters can shoot without any resistance, and that's what you want. An open three-point shot, we convert, and we're running to the other side. I want to see that, but I also want to see Jericho Sims be more aggressive on offense because if he is, he'll be able to help the Knicks get more open looks. That's what I want to see. He's capable. According to him, he's an NBA player. He has those tools, and he can be more aggressive on offense if he wants to. The only reason he doesn't is because it sounds like when he goes into the game, Tom Thibodeau gives him clear instructions. Do this, this, and this. And as long as you're checking off all of those boxes, you'll stay in the game. If that's the case, I can understand that. And I can also understand why Sims is more limited on offense because he's not asked to be that offensive player when he's out there by Tom Thibodeau. But in the same vein, I can also argue by not using him offensively, it's basically 4-on-5 out there. And that doesn't help us either. Somebody has to have a conversation with him. Either Tom Thibodeau has to do it or his teammates have to do it. But either way, he cannot be open, catch the ball, and then look to pass it. He has to be aggressive, dunk that ball, shoot that ball, or do something with it. Even if he misses, like I mentioned before, the fact that he's aggressive and shooting it is going to help us down the road in the game. And that's what you want. If it's 5-on-5, that's better than 4-on-5. Tom Thibodeau, have that conversation with Jericho Sims. Make sure he's more aggressive on offense when he's out there. But Tom Thibodeau did have a conversation with the media recently about the Knicks and lineups that they could potentially run in the future. Because currently in practice, they are practicing and working on a double big lineup featuring Jericho Sims and Karl-Anthony Towns. And in that situation, Karl-Anthony Towns would be the power forward, the 4, and Sims would be the 5. Let's take a look at exactly what Tom Thibodeau had to say to the media regarding this double big lineup that he's currently working on in practice. Shout out to Steph Bondy with the New York Post for giving us the following information. According to him, interestingly, the coach revealed Monday that he experimented with the 2-center lineup in practice before Towns suffered a leg contusion. At the very least, Tom Thibodeau is open to a double big lineup. A similar configuration worked in Minnesota with Towns playing alongside an elite rim protector in Rudy Gobert, who helped cover up Towns' weaknesses on the defensive side of the ball. According to Thibs, we'll see how it unfolds. We haven't had a lot of practice time, so that's a big thing. We started to work on it, and then Cat got nicked up. So that didn't allow us to do it as much as we would have liked. No matter where the Knicks end up in the future with returns of Achua and Mitchell Robinson, they know they found a reliable paint defender in Jericho Sims. I don't know when we're going to see it. I don't know when that lineup's going to make its debut, but the fact that Tom Thibodeau confirmed that they're working on that lineup in practice is all I need to hear. Because if that lineup debuts, Karl-Anthony Towns would be the 4 in that situation. I'm not saying they would start, but they would have a bigger edge defensively, in my opinion, because Sims inside, down low, is going to be a lot better defensively for the Knicks. Now, you might be asking yourself, do the Knicks really need to play a double big lineup? Let me tell you, they absolutely do. You don't believe me? Take a look at this stat. Shout out to Steph Bondy for giving us the following stat as well, too. According to him, opponents are shooting just 33% on Sims within 6 feet of the rim. 33%. That is insane. That easily made Sims the NBA's top paint defender among players who have logged at least 11 games heading into Monday. Top paint defender in the NBA. That's Jericho Sims. I know you might be a little bit shocked. When I read that, I was shocked, but I'm even more shocked by this next stat. By contrast, opponents are shooting 73.2% within 6 feet of the rim on starting center Karl-Anthony Towns. 73.2% on Towns, 33% on Jericho Sims. Do I need to say more? Do I need to explain it any further? Do you guys understand now why we need to run a double big lineup? Because if we do, defensively, we are going to get miles better. And that will allow Karl-Anthony Towns to be a free roamer, to do whatever he wants to do out there on offense. He wants to drive, he can do that. He wants to attack at any point in time, he can do that. He wants to fake in three and drive, he actually wants to take the three-point shot. Whatever he wants to do on offense, he's going to be able to do. He'll be able to take contact inside and go to the line. And he's not going to have to worry about all of those defensive responsibilities at playing the 5 spot, because he's only going to have to play the 5 on offense. On defense, he'll be playing the 4, and Sims will be playing the 5, or Achua will be playing the 5, or Mitchell Robinson will be playing the 5. And the fact that Tom Thibodeau is experimenting with this double big lineup in practice tells me he also understands exactly what the Knicks' issues are. Karl-Anthony Towns, as good as he is on offense, is just not good at the 5 on defense. That means you have to play another big around him. Tom Thibodeau is trying to see what works right now, and for how long, for how many minutes, because obviously you can't start that lineup. But maybe some nights that lineup finishes. Maybe some nights that lineup starts the third quarter. It all depends on what we need from game to game. But if we can do that, and we can utilize it as a weapon, because it is a weapon, we are going to be able to flip the script on some teams. Some nights, they're going to think they have it against us, and then we're going to put this lineup out there, and they're not going to know what to do. I can't wait for the day we see that happen. We might have to wait for Precious Achua to come back or Mitchell Robinson to come back, but he's clearly working on that with Jericho Sims. So who knows? Maybe we'll see it the next game tonight against the Orlando Magic. Maybe we'll see it in a couple of other games down the road. But either way, a lineup change is coming. And Tom Thibodeau is clearly making the adjustment, because defensively, we need it. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following reports indicating that even though Jericho Sims is capable and wants to do more on the offensive side of the ball for the Knicks, he's choosing not to because he wants to play his role to perfection? And what about Karl-Anthony Towns and the fact that Tom Thibodeau has more or less confirmed that he's likely going to play power forward at some point in time in the future for the Knicks? Let me know how you feel about that in the comments section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.